Hey guys, so you want to catch a Magmasaur, huh? Well, it's not going to be that simple, and in fact, you can't just tame one. You have to steal one of their eggs and raise it as one of your own before you can ride one of these beauties. Before we get started though, there are a lot of things to learn about the volcano biome and more importantly, the volcano itself. Firstly, it's hot everywhere, and there are some pretty deadly predators here like the dreaded X-Rex and the X-Allosaurs, which tend to run in packs. But since we're going to have to go into the depths of the volcano to get these precious Magmasaur eggs, we need to be prepared. It's very hot inside too, but it's hard to say exactly how much heat resistance you're going to need since everyone is going to stat differently and likely have different stat multipliers as well. My character has about 42 points in Fortitude because I added a multiplier. That's a baseline 189 heat resistance since each point of Fortitude adds 4.5 heat and cold resistance. If you haven't bothered putting anything into Fortitude, or just not that much, then you're going to want to bring a set of armor that helps reduce heat. The Hazard Suit is a good choice since the full set provides 300 heat protection. I prefer to use a ghillie suit because I like being mostly invisible, and it provides 155 heat protection, which isn't bad for a lower tier set of armor. If you caught a Ferox, you can also pick one up and bring it along to add another 225 heat resistance. You can also cook up some kale and soup to add 50 more resistance if you're still coming up short, and it's nice because it also slows your water consumption by 25%. It should be a given, but I'll mention it anyway. You should also bring along some water as you'll become dehydrated more quickly in the heat. That said, you're also going to have to worry about the volcano erupting about every 30 minutes or so. Sometimes I swear it happens sooner though. If you're outside, you'll know it's erupting because smoke will come billowing out of the cave entrances. You'll also see a big plume of fire spitting out from the top of the volcano. You'll have to be careful when you see the fireballs start to fly from it because they will kill you. I had never seen them up till this point and didn't realize I could get one shot. It took me and my Ferox out instantly, but thankfully my X-Rex made it, probably only because it had a ton of health. If you're inside the cave, you'll know it's about to erupt because a little icon will show at the bottom of the screen that looks like this. The ground will shake, and if you're near the lava pits, you will actually see it rise up and begin to bubble and spit in the area where the Magmasaurs make their nests. The whole volcano will turn a hue of red as well. If you get stuck inside the cave when the volcano erupts, you will most certainly die as it ticks each time for 2,500 damage. Another issue you'll have to contend with when trying to retrieve an egg is that they're all located down in the lava pools at the deepest parts of this cave. There are a few different spots you can drop down to get them, but in almost every case, they're protected by a rather rocky ledge. This ledge makes escaping a little bit tricky, as in order to get out quickly, you'll need a mount that can climb walls. Even then, the walls are very jagged, and oftentimes there are parts that jut out, making it hard to continue climbing upwards. You're looking at using something like a Ferox, and in a lot of cases people use Bloodstalkers too. I'll get more into that later. There is one spot where the ground goes down to the lava though, and if you don't have a climber, this is your best bet. Here's the entrance on the map, and with GPS. There are a lot of enemies through this way, so it's not going to be an easy option. Still, if you have no choice but to use this spot, it is an option. Lastly, you'll have to deal with the Magmasaurs that will be none too happy that you've taken their precious eggs. Much like wyverns and rock drakes, they will all attack you when you've taken an egg. They will spit fireballs at you, and they can really hurt, potentially breaking your armor and really hurting whatever tame you may be riding at the time. So now that we've discussed every potential concern that I could think of, let's talk about the cave entrances. If you're like me and hadn't really been to this map much, it might be difficult to find what area the caves are located in. Initially, I climbed up towards the top of the volcano and did find a large opening that led to the upper part of the volcano, but it's a much longer trip with a lot more enemies to worry about. The good caves offer a way to get in and out quickly and are around the southeastern side of the map. They're all surrounded by purple crystals, so it's pretty obvious when you come across one. I already showed you one of the caves and its location, but let's go over the other ones too. The easiest cave to find, and my personal favorite entrance because it's the largest of the caves, and you get less trouble getting your tames in without hitting every rock and getting stuck like 50 times. You can find it very easily because there are 2 mission beacons right next to the entrance, so you could track it from a distance and then follow the waypoint. The missions are called The Extraction as well as We Will Rock You and Kingslayer. But as far as I've been able to find, these are the only purple cave entrances into the tunnel, plus the large entrance up above that I mentioned earlier. If there are other ways in, please comment as I'd love to know, but realistically, the top entrance is so long and covered with enemies that it would never be worth taking this route versus the other ones. And I always find that the entrance by the beacon has the least enemies to contend with on a whole with far less Magmasaur spawns. So now let's get down to the best way to actually get in here and steal an egg. After all the methods I tried, I'd say using a Ferox or a Bloodstalker is the easiest. A grappling hook is also a really solid way to do it. With both the grappling hook and the Ferox, though, I found there was a bit of difficulty getting around that rocky overhang at the top of the pit. It was doable, though, and by the time you reach that high, you're mostly out of fireball range. The Bloodstalker, even as a crappy rider, was hands down the easiest. You know, it was a little worrisome, though, because I felt completely incompetent driving this thing. So let's take a look at each method to get an idea of how this is gonna work. Alright, so I'm basically looking around these cliffs to try and figure out where I think the best way to get out is. You know, and I know in a panic I'm gonna forget where the heck to go. So I'm wondering, I don't know, I can't build anything. I'm gonna waste too much time. And this volcano can erupt any moment. So I spawned a bunch of level 125 Magmasaurs down in here. Because I didn't realize it, but the settings on my single player game, don't do that, Ferox, man, you scared the crap out of me. My settings on my single player game, were on low difficulty for whatever reason, and so initially I had like a bunch of level 4, level 12 Magmasaurs in here, and so I spawned in a bunch of level 125s, and I adjusted the settings since then, but they're still down there. I never killed them. So, there's a chance we could get a really good egg. I see a couple down there. Oh, I might actually even be able to see them with the spyglass. Oh, there's a 23. I can't see that one. I don't know. Oh, I should probably just take the 23 and be happy to get something. Or I could be a little creative here and try and get an angle on that other egg. I don't know. I could try and get both of them. I might be able to get both of those there. There's some over here too, but I think that is the more dangerous area to go to. I think it's going to be the easiest to climb up and out right here. Like if I go into that corner right there. There's 2 Magmasaurs there, but they're both lowish level. So I could probably grab those and hopefully get back up and out. And hope to God that I can remember how to get out of here, because I am not the most adept at this volcano. Oh my god, my heart is beating like a million miles a minute. We're gonna, I guess, see if we can do this. And I hope I didn't just kill my frickin' Ferox. Nope, it's fine. Okay. Oh god, aggro already. I'm not supposed to be swearing. I'm gonna have to bleep that out. We're just gonna be happy with that 23. Oh god, oh god. That's bad. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. No, go, go, go. Woo! Okay, no, no! Get! Oh my god, you stupid thing! Oh, that's the one thing I hate about Ferox is they're so, like, futzy. Okay, alright, now, I'm gonna go. You know, there are some nests right down in there. I'm gonna try lowering myself down in with a grappling hook. There they are. Woo! I am gonna just... Oh, that's not good. Okay. Level 7. Level 16. Get out of here, Helena. Okay, so I'm gonna try and grapple up there if I can. Up, 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 up. Oh, that's not good. Shit. See, now from here, it's hard to say. What the best way up is, aside from what I'm doing here. Oh no, they're still trying to get me. So this is the problem you run into. Here, I'll try and get up there. That should do it. Perfect. So then I can just go drop. Well, I didn't expect that to happen. I guess it's not close enough, but thankfully it worked out. So there you go. So that's doable. I'm not really the best at controlling this thing, and I would imagine that a lot of people, maybe, I don't know, wouldn't have 100% faith in themselves. So I thought it would be best to try this out as somebody who is not really good at controlling this thing to see how viable it would be. I mean, even here, it's really hard to control, as you can see. Really hard. Whoop. I feel like sometimes it works really well, and other times it just doesn't. Yeah, so you can see I'm really bad at this. So what have we got down here? So there are some eggs down here, and for whatever reason... Oh no, there they are. I was gonna say there's not that many Magmasaurs, but for whatever reason they're not showing up on my spyglass. That's strange. So I'm gonna try and go over this way because there aren't that many over there. Okay. So far so good. Let's grab this. I don't care what it is. Or, oh god. Get up! Go! I see, I don't know what it's doing. There we go. God, I am so bad with this thing. Woo! Okay, so, I mean, I guess it is a really good way to do it because I'm awful with this damn thing. And I still did it. Now I still gotta get out of here, but... How do you... Yeah, I guess you hit C. Or not? How the heck do you... How do you let your strings go? It always just seems really weird. Climbing hooks just don't seem to get you out fast enough to actually stay alive during the climb, though. It might be a good choice if there aren't a lot of Magmasaurs around to kill you, but if there are a lot, then it's most certainly certain death. In the end, I'm sure you can think up a bunch of ways to get this done. That's what's fun about Ark. Even when there is one end, you can still find many ways to do the same thing. Now that you have the egg, I suggest bringing it back to your base and letting it incubate for a while. Don't let it hatch all the way though, and pick it back up before it finishes and throw it into storage. There's something we have to do first so that we have the food we need to feed the baby when it's born. Magmasaurs will only eat Ambergris, I don't know how to say that. We'll just say Ambergris. But that's all they eat when they're growing, and in the player's inventory, this item will only last 20 minutes. If you store it on a dino, it will last an hour and 20 minutes. And in the fridge, it will last a whole day and a half. In order to get Ambergris, you have to go to the lunar biome, which was actually a little disappointing to me because I had wanted to save the lunar biome for last. So I'm going to go and get this and come back without much exploring. You have to be careful of the sun here, as it will burn you alive if you stay in it for too long. If the spot you teleport to happens to be sunny when you get there, simply go into the shade. It can also be very cold in the shade, so it's a difficult biome to manage. It's probably best to dress warm and stay the heck out of the sun. You'll see these rocks everywhere with a green glowy mark on them. These are the rocks you need to harvest to get ambergris. It seems to drop at a much better rate with the axe versus the pick, although it is possible to drop with the pick. I just had much less luck with it. I'd suggest bringing a tame with you so that you can temporarily store the ambergris on your tame and keep it from spoiling so fast. Collect a good amount of ambergris, I'd say somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 maybe. Keep in mind if you don't store it properly, you'll probably have to come back and get more. Don't run out and let your baby starve. I'm not going to go into depth about how to raise an egg. I assume most people already know, as all of the reptiles/dinosaurs in the game hatch via egg. For my hatching room, I set up a ton of air conditioners, 14 to be exact, and it seemed to be enough for the Magmasaur. The rest is pretty simple. Just babysit the infant and work at imprinting it. Keep in mind they will want ambergris for comfort food to imprint as well, so make sure you don't run out of it. It is hard to say how long they will take to raise, as everyone has different server rates. I'm playing Genesis on single player right now, so I tweaked my settings to make this go a lot faster. But I've read that even with 10 times rates, it can still take as long as 23 hours to mature. If that's the case for you, it's going to be a long day or days of trips to the lunar biome getting more and more ambergris. Also consider that they get really big. I wasn't really prepared for how huge they were, so make sure you get them out of your hatch room before they get too big. They don't seem to be affected by the habitat though. As you can see, I even raised them in the cold and they were fine. Now that you finally have your Magmasaur, I'm sure you're dying to ride it and see what it can do. The saddle is pretty basic to make, needing just some hide, fiber, cementing paste, and metal ingots, and can be made in the smithy. Spacebar acts as a taunt to nearby enemies. The left mouse button uses a swipe attack that hits all enemies in front of the Magmasaur. You can also use it to harvest resources like metal and the like. The right mouse button controls Searing Spit. Hold it in to charge the Magmasaur's fireball attack and let it go to release it. You can aim it by moving your mouse around to the desired location shown by the yellow indicator. This consumes one metal ingot, which won't be hard to come by since this thing is a metal collecting monster. If you hold in the searing attack with the right mouse button, and then hit C instead of letting it go, you'll do an eruption attack that will send a bunch of molten slag in an arc all around you. It will leave fiery puddles on the floor that will continue to damage enemies. There are other caveats about the Magmasaur to take into account. Like, Searing Spit will take forever to charge in the cold weather of the Arctic biome, and it will not charge at all in the swamp biome. It will say it can't charge in the rain or inclement weather, but I wasn't even in the water, it wasn't raining, and it still wouldn't work. Also, Magmasaurs are immune to lava, and if the player is mounted while the volcano erupts, they will survive, as will the Magmasaur. They can still take fire damage though, which kind of sucks when you consider using them against other Magmasaurs. Also, while you and the Magmasaur will survive an eruption, a shoulder pet will not, so do not bring one if you want to keep it safe. Aside from the obvious utility I've already mentioned, there are still more areas where the Magmasaur shines. I mentioned that it can collect metal, but it collects a lot of metal, far better than the Inky. It has a 5-star efficiency collecting both metal and stone, and it also has a 75% weight reduction for both metal and metal ingots. And if that isn't enough for you, it can also smelt all the metal on its own body. Yes, simply enable smelting through its interface and you have yourself a walking dino forge. You can also use it as a campfire to cook your meat, including raw meat, raw prime, and raw fish meat. Please keep in mind that it goes through quite a lot of food to run the forge though, and will also attempt to eat any raw meat on its body. You can force feed it stones to fill its health bar, but it still seems to go after your meat, and there was no weird joke intended there. Overall, this is an incredibly useful dino, especially as a metal collector. You can easily take it into the volcano without worry for much besides the golems and other Magmasaurs. Still, you can do full damage to golems with most of your attacks, and wild Magmasaurs don't have much health to contend with. I do have a couple complaints about this creature though. The first would be that it has no way to get around rocky terrain. There's no easy way to get up a ledge or climb past a rock. I feel like it should have some sort of climbing ability. I mean, nothing major like what the Ferox has, but it feels really clunky in terms of trying to get around terrain. Even a simple step up ability would be great. Just something, you know? And to be realistic, they're climbing all over that volcano. Wouldn't it make sense that they could climb up the ledges of the pits they nest in? Do they just magically teleport out because that's the only way you're going to get your Magmasaur back out if you happen to fall into one? So you'd have to kill everything before you could even teleport out unless you use the awesome teleporters mod. Still, it feels like a big oversight to me. Then there's the very real possibility that you'll run out of ingots while you're in combat and not be able to use your most damaging fireball ability. I also think it's ridiculous that they are immune to lava, but not fire in general. It's nice that they are tanky, but I don't think it's something I would pick as a favorite or a go-to mount for everyday play. It feels strictly like a go into the volcano, get a crap ton of metal, and go home type of mount. I could also see using it as artillery to assault a base, but you're not going to get any of that action on single player. The problem I run into with the Magmasaur is that it's easy to get overwhelmed once everything closes the distance. With small HP dinos, this tame is not going to run into any issues. But with anything high HP, if it's not attacking from range, it's going to take a while to kill it. Golems can be a real pain in the butt because they have so much health, and most of the time I just run from them. You also have to worry about getting torpored down by a scorpion, although so far I haven't actually been knocked out. And Magmasaurs can hurt you when they flash the message, "Getting hot, stay back." I personally like dinos that make you feel like there's just about nothing that could actually kill you, and while the Magmasaur is tough and can hit like a truck, it still worries me once in a while. It doesn't feel like it felt on the island, being on a Spino, shredding everything up and not being worried about much of anything except for a Giga. And I guess considering this is supposed to be the best tame for the volcano biome, that it would be nice to feel like the master of the volcano when riding it. It feels good, but not as good as it could have if, let's say, even the eruption attack didn't arc out so much and actually hit mobs that were right on top of you. That alone would have helped a lot for the whole overwhelm issue. But really, I know it sounds like a lot of criticism, but I'm very happy with the Magmasaur. It's nice when we get something new that helps change things up a bit. Like switching out for the typical Anki is awesome, and this creature makes metal gathering a dream. It's not like there is ever a time when you don't need metal, so this is great. It also fits a really nice niche being able to shoot fireballs. You can breathe fire with wyverns, but it's not really the same. This dino is literally made of fire, and it shows. I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. It ended up a lot longer than I had initially intended, as I found there was just more and more I wanted to go over. If you didn't already know, you can also breed these guys, and so there will definitely be another video about my breeding project with them in the future. Have a good one, guys, and good luck getting those eggs. See ya!